Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episodic series started by me, Pocket. We are playing the Valkyrie Chronicles. This game was developed by Sega way back in the day, although I first heard about it around 2010, PS3 era. A once and old dear friend of mine let me borrow the CD, the game disc, and well, I never got to finish it, but I loved it. It was described to me as this crazy chick with blue hair and blue laser beams destroys everything. But it is in actual truth a jrpg that is turn-based combat. It's a RTS type real-time strategy, although it's still turn-based combat, but based on real-time. And it is a ton of fun. There's so much story to unravel. There's so many rewarding mechanics. It is genuinely a wonderful game, and I am just excited as punch to be able to play this and share it with anyone who may have never seen it, or anyone who wants to just fondly look back and remember what an incredible game that is the Valkyrie Chronicles. And we are diving right into this. This will be the prologue, which will cover the introduction plus the initial source of the conflict. And yeah, I can't wait. Just one thing to point out, I will show you, I did already mess up on some saves. I was recording the entire time without knowing that my microphone was muted. So we will replace those save files as soon as we are done with this prologue episode. Let's go ahead and make sure our settings were saved. They were. This game will be in Japanese, but with English subtitles. I apologize if that's an inconvenience for you, but it's a preference for me. So now, we'll take a look at, well, the current state of affairs.
東西2つの大国によって分断されていた。すなわち、皇帝を頂点とした専制君主国家、東ヨーロッパ帝国連合と、王政を排した共和国国家の連合体、大西洋連邦機構である。鉱物資源ラグナイトをめぐり勢力争いを広げる両国はついに開戦。大陸は戦争の炎に包まれることとなった。第二次ヨーロッパ大戦の勃発である。圧倒的な戦力を誇る帝国軍は次々と国境を越え侵攻を開始。その矛先は連邦のみならず周辺諸国へも向けられた。ガリア公国、帝国と連邦の中間に位置し武装中立を国是とする自然豊かな小国家である。しかしその豊富なラグナイト資源を奪わんとする帝国はガリア公国に宣戦を布告、雪崩を打ってその領内へと進撃を開始した。序章、開戦。
Alright, so we look at the prologue, which basically tells us a little bit about the two powers at play here and the resource in which caused the invasion, Ragnite, a precious resource that the Empire is very interested in.
西暦1935年3月、ガリア公国、国境の町ブルール郊外。帝国と国境を隔てたブルールの人々は戦火を恐れ、次々と町を脱出し始めていた。
You can really see the art style is a bit unique in this game. And although it's early, I'll tell you, this game is basically a book. I think in canon we are an avid reader, and we are reading the tale of this conflict. We experience it through episodes within chapters. Some episodes are just little storytelling devices, plot measures, and things of this sort. Sometimes they're missions. But they're all experienced within the war on the Gallian front.
見かけない顔ね。名前は？
僕の名前はウェルキン。君たちは？
我々はブルールの自警団の者です。私は分隊長のアリシア。最近帝国のスパイがうろついているという情報があって見回りをしてたんだけど。
信じてもらえると嬉しいんだけど、僕は単に魚のスケッチをしていただけで。
魚のスケッチね。このご時世に結構ですこと。その話の続きは詰め所でゆっくりと聞かせてもらいます。拘束しなさい。
参ったな。
Right, so here we get to experience a little bit of the two protagonists in our story, although there's going to be plenty of protagonists in our story. These two will be central. We see Welkin as a returning university student who went through training, possibly, and he's a huge nature lover. In the middle of a war, pausing to sketch a bunch of fish outside of his hometown. And a very cautious Alicia, who believes him to be a spy, and is taking him in.
魚やお花、虫のスケッチばっかり。あなた、絵が上手なのね。
だから魚のスケッチをしていただけなんだって。
いえ、これだって新種の暗号かもしれない。じっくり調べさせてもらいます。
She's cute. I believe that's Sundere. She's a Sundere.
イサラ、元気だったかい？
兄さん、一体どうしたのですか？あれ、あなたは確かギュンター将軍の。はい、ギュンターの娘のイサラです。まだ疎開してなかったの？はい、兄が今日迎えに来てくれることになっていたんです。その兄というのが今そこで拘束されている人です。え
Definitely a Sundere.
ごめんなさい。
ごめんなさい。
メモを取っているのが見えたから。
I was just doing my job, you know.
いや、客観的に見たら
She's cute.
疑われてもおかしくない行為だ。
兄は子供の頃から自然が好きで、今は首都の大学で学んでいるんです。
これからは自分も誰かに観察されているかもしれないってことを覚えておくよ。
銃声よ。みんな体を低くして。
あそこだ。
So despite this game being a PG game, maybe a PG-13, I think it's PG, we do see death, although you don't see too much gore, as to be expected of a war-based strategy game.
銃は撃てるよね。
あ、軍事教練で習ってきたからね。
敵はおそらく偵察目的の少人数部隊よ。私たちで撃退しましょう。
わかった。
Wakata. And so we are diving right into our first mission. Ah, yes. They're telling us it's a good idea to save because I will mention here and now, this is a game with that OG difficulty. If you don't manage your saves proper, you do lose a bunch of progress. And learning from our old Legend of Dragoon mishap, I am creating 2 saves. I've learned my lesson, I'll never do it again. Right, and now we get to experience a little bit of combat, so I'll be able to show you just how fun the actual gameplay is. And every mission will start out essentially the same way. You'll be given an area map of the conflict zone, along with your objectives. The starting sides will show up. Red will always be the enemy, the Empire. The blue will always be us, the Gallian forces. And the rest is for you to kind of... Like, this is a game that... It's a strategy-based game, but analyzing and reading the map well is important and fundamental. So, on this very first and primal map, I would like to point out, you see 2 sides starting, you see a bridge, and a connecting area in a giant square-ish zone. The sort of rounded lines in that zone indicate cover, or at the very least a elevation. And of course in the back corner you see the windmill, which is where we're trying to get to, the town of Brol. Analyzing these maps becomes important later. As for now, it's not incredibly critical. I'd also like to apologize for how wordy this introduction will get. I'm gonna try to avoid a lot of the dialogue in these zones, only because I can describe them better to you than the game will. Also, the game will try and make us go through this nice and slow. We're gonna finish this in 1 turn. Not a big deal. And of course, you're given your victory and failure conditions. So, if Welkin or Alicia die, or if somehow you take 20 turns on this mission, I can't imagine how that could ever happen. But there you go. Now, a few more things to be noted on this updated real-time map. 3 enemies have been sighted. We can see our units and theirs. Now we're going to learn about command points, and I'll circle back to what I was just talking about before as soon as we gain access to the map. So command points, as I said, this is a turn-based combat game. So turns rotate between the offending and defending parties. We start this round on the offense, so the enemy will be stationary. However, if they see us, they will be able to shoot at us. This also is true in reverse. So on our turn, well, on their turn, our units will be defending. If they can identify targets, they will take shots at them. However, may not be the best shots. You're pretty much just getting some minor DPS in. The player, the side whose turn it is, always has the advantage. And there are some special conditions within those turns, but for now, all you need to know is we're starting this out. The enemy will be defending. They'll see us, they'll take shots at us, but they're not actually getting a turn on this. CP... Sorry, let me clarify. Command points are integral because they show you how many actions you can take in your turn. We only get a certain amount of them, so it's integral that we use them properly. Circling back now, you see we have these 3 units, this weird sort of M shape, or like maybe some boobies, I don't know. These indicate a scout unit. Not that it's important now, basically even the enemy has scout units that we can see. But scouts are a specific type of unit, and there are many that you will command under your regiment. Scouts are definitely important. You also see these lines, the yellow lines. This indicates a line of sight. Yellow, I believe, means that the enemy is unaware. However, we are aware of them, hence the line of sight. And we see that we have 2 lines of sight, both from Alicia and Vulcan. Also the triangle indicates the enemy's. I don't know what he's looking down the road. He's trying to see anything coming up the road, but that's going to lead to his ultimate demise. Again, I apologize for how wordy this is going to get. It's just the first episode. After this, it gets more complicated. We'll explain things as they go, but it'll be less and less as we move on. So now we're going to choose Alicia as our first command point, and we're going to learn about action points now. Essentially, an action point will allow you to move your full action bar, which you will see in the bottom center as a yellow bar. That is your movement. That's how far you can move within your turn. You can end it at any point, but make sure you always end your turn behind some cover, not out in the open. That's an easy way to get a player character killed. You can also use an action as well as your movement. You can use an action. That action usually will be one of 3 things, maybe 4, depending on the unit. For the scouts and for Alicia, she'll have access to her gun, the Galleon Mark I. She'll have access to a grenade, which is great for dealing with enemies behind cover, and destroying cover. And 3, she'll have access to a small healing item called Ragnade, which ties in a bit with the story of the game. Ragnite is a resource found in Gallia, and as such, these Gallians have access to using this energy. Ragnade is essentially a med kit that you can apply to yourself or to allies. Whew, okay. I know this is very wordy. Again, I do apologize. It gets much better. This is all just wordy because I'm explaining it to you as if you've never played this game. We're going to start by basically running up. I'll demonstrate a little bit about what cover's all about. I'll explain all about attacking too, don't worry about it. So behind these sandbags you can always crouch. While crouching, you take very reduced damage. It's always good to end a turn behind cover, or out of sight entirely. However, this game wants us to go slow, and we are not going to go slow. This is a 1-round win objective. So, You see the line of sight there changing a little bit. Oh, and our enemy has noticed us. That's not a big deal. We're just going to shoot him. Now, to explain about attacking. So, this circle indicates the area that our shots will hit. So if I aim dead center, all of them will definitely hit. However, these are body shots. Now take a look at the top center. To kill him with body shots would take 7 shots. We only get 5. So that's not great. However, if we aim for the head and we connect 2 successful shots, easily handled. We're not going to worry about ending here. If we ended here, this would be a tremendous waste. We still have more than half of our movement. As I move, I want you to pay attention to the lines of sight. Right now it's yellow, indicating that he does not have a line of sight on us, but as we move, it'll turn blue, indicating he has noticed us. I've already explained cover. Red will always indicate that he's firing as well. So now we can end our action here. Now I'll tell you about a new thing. If we moved this character, Welkin, you see he has a full yellow bar. However, we can re-enter combat with Alicia at a reduced AP meter. Obviously she's taking a little bit of damage there, but that is a valuable lesson in learning about action points. So we do get reduced action points, however, we don't need all of them, and we'll be able to manage just fine. Then we'll end the final turn right in front of this nerd. And use our final command point and take out this loser. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. At the end of every encounter, you'll always be given a combat report. EXP is used in training. DCC is money. Those will become important later. The higher the rank, the better the stuff. You also get bonuses for enemy leaders, enemy ace units, and tanks. Right, again, apologies for the 3rd time about how wordy and long that was. I promise they won't always be that way. It's just the first time, and we're dipping our toes, or at the very least, I'm treating it like we're dipping our toes into this game for the first time. And for the conclusion of this chapter.
So, 引き続き警戒を厳にしてください。
はっ。帝国軍の死んだ奴らはどうしましょう。
埋葬してあげて。戦争は始まってしまった。この町の人たちを守るには、私には戦うしか方法はないの。
You'll see this theme often.
あれは
粉雪草の種だ。小さいけれど白く綺麗な花を咲かせるんだよ。
The theme of the flower, the lion's paw. You'll even notice it in the loading screens, in a lot of the symbology.
新しい命だってこの時代に生まれていたことを。
西暦1935年3月15日、帝国はガリア公国に宣戦を布告。その領内に怒涛のごとく侵攻を開始した。第二次ヨーロッパ大戦のほんの小戦線に過ぎないと思われたこの地の戦いで、人々は目撃した。小国が圧倒的な軍事大
Events
国
would
を
tell a
退けた
story of
奇
tragedy
跡的な勝利。
hidden in the mists of
歴史の
time.
中に埋もれていた
A
光
story
と
of
影、
courage and trust,
勇気と友情、
of persecution
Hakugai to
and
henken.
hatred, and of love
そして
blooming
戦火の中に
even
生まれ
on the
た愛の
battlefield.
感動。これは7ヶ月に及んだその戦いの記録である。
Can't help but think of Kojima-san. Right, and this concludes
ブル
the
ール防衛
prologue.
戦。
So, I hope you enjoyed the prologue of Valkyrie Chronicles. This has been just the introduction. We're gonna jump right into it, and I can't wait to dive into this game with you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it intriguing. I know it was a little bit slow for now. Trust me, these missions they get wacky. The narrative, the story elements, they're all wonderful. I can't wait to explore it with you. I've been Pocket. I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope to see you on the next episode. Until that time, let's end with a save. Perfect. Alright. Until next time.